Anyone who's familiar with pop-punk music has more than likely heard of a band called Neck Deep. They are juggernauts in the scene with multiple classic albums under their belt, features from some of the biggest artists in the scene, and a devoted and loyal fan base. However, they were not always the band they are now. Hey, what's up guys, my name is Band Prevail, and in this video I'll be discussing Neck Deep's humble beginnings, their lineup changes throughout the years, and ultimately how they will become one of the biggest bands in the scene right now. Neck Deep is a Welsh pop-punk band formed in the small town of Wrexham. The band was formed in 2012 by vocalist Ben Barlow and guitarist Lloyd Roberts after meeting through Ben's brother Seb. In April of the same year, Ben and Lloyd released a song together titled What Did You Expect? After receiving a positive reaction online, they decided to add rhythm guitarist Matt West, who was in a band called Spires with Lloyd, drummer Danny Washington, and bassist Phil Thorpe Evans, who formerly played in the band Climates. This would be the band's lineup until 2015. They would continue to record more songs in the attic of Ben's house, with Ben's brother Seb taking on the role as producer. In June, it was announced that they had signed with the record label We Are Triumphant and released their first song on the label, I Couldn't Wait to Leave 6 months ago, as a single. And in September, they released Rain in July, their first EP. Online, it would receive a positive reaction among fans and start growing them a small fan base. October saw the release of a music video for I Couldn't Wait to Leave 6 months ago, and 3 months later it was announced that they would play on select tour dates with Me vs. Hero and With the Punches, two other small UK bands. This would be Neck Deep's live debut and the start of their very long touring career. 2013 saw the release of their second EP, A History of Bad Decisions, in February. Much like their first EP, this release would garner even more hype online for the new and upcoming band. In the same month, they got the opportunity to open for British rap metal band Hacktivist on their UK tour, the same tour where they would end up meeting their manager. He would put the band in contact with Hopeless Records, and in August the band would get officially signed to the label. They would then release two new singles, Crushing Grief and Growing Pains, teasing the release of their debut album. 2014 would start with the release of said album, Wishful Thinking. In January, along with the realization that the band was becoming much more than just a small side project, it was shortly after this release that all the band members would quit their job and schooling to pursue music full-time. Wishful Thinking would turn out to be very successful and would allow them to go on their first headline tour in the UK and later in the US. This tour was aided by Knucklepuck, who they would kindle a long-time relationship with, Light Years, and Misguided by Giants, who were all up-and-coming bands in the scene. In June, the band remastered their first two EPs into a compilation titled Rain in July / A History of Bad Decisions. Ben cites this move as a way to help newer fans appreciate their older songs. July would be their debut on the Vans Warped Tour, a US cross-country tour which they would become a staple on in the years that followed. October saw them opening for Real Friends on their US tour, another band who Neck Deep would keep close ties to. At the end of 2014, they entered the studio with producers Andrew Wade, Tom Denny, and Jeremy McKinnon, the latter two being members of the renowned band A Day to Remember, to start recording their second studio album. The end of 2014 saw things looking up for Neck Deep. They were truly starting to be taken more serious in the scene. Their second album was already being worked on, and they had made some great connections in the music industry. However, the next year will bring much controversy and turmoil within the band. 2015 started off well. In February, they headlined the Intercontinental Championships Tour, once again with Knucklepuck opening. May and July saw the release of two new singles, Can't Kick Up the Roots and Gold Steps, off their new album, along with a release date for the album, on August 14th. The album titled Life's Not Out to Get You was a huge success, peaking at number 17 on the Billboard Hot 200, number 3 on the Billboard Alternative Albums, and nominated for Album of the Year at the Alternative Press Music Awards, or the APMAs. The album also contained the song December, released as a single in July, ironically. This song would be highly regarded as one of the best songs on the album. However, everything was not going perfect, as only 9 days after the album was released, lead guitarist Lloyd Roberts was accused of sexual assault online. The accusation, which was later cleared by police, caused Roberts to step down from the band permanently. The loss of their lead guitarist did not stop them from touring, however, as in October they were back to touring with two huge bands in the scene, All Time Low and Sleeping with Sirens. This would be one of their biggest tours yet. November saw them opening for another large band, Bring Me the Horizon, on their UK tour dates. In December, they found a new guitarist in Sam Bowden, who was their previous guitar tech. He had formerly played with Phil Thorpe Evans in the band Climates and had always been close to the band. Ben cited Sam as being a perfect fit for the band. 2016 started with the co-headline tour with state champs in the UK, Japan, and Australia. In March, they released remixes of 2 songs from Life's Not Out to Get You, Serpents and Can't Kick Up the Roots, both featuring Mark Hoppus from Blink-182. After another tour in April, the band went on a writer's retreat for a few weeks to start working on new songs for their much-anticipated 3rd album. July saw 2 new remixes of December, one with Mark Hoppus and one with Chris Carrabba, the lead singer of Dashboard Confessional. Chris Carrabba joined them the next day at the APMA Awards to perform December live. This is also the same night where they would win the award for Best Live Band. After the explosive APMA performance, they appeared on a few Warped Tour dates in the US alongside state champs and Real Friends. In September, they joined Pierce the Veil on a US tour, which would be their final tour in 2016. 2017 started off with an opening slot for A Day to Remember on their tour in the UK. In May, their 3rd studio album would be announced and 2 singles from the album were released, Where Do We Go When We Go and Happy Judgment Day, along with music videos for each. Touring continued with an opening slot once again for All Time Low on the Australian leg of their tour. Immediately after this tour, they would play at the Slam Dunk Festival in the UK and the Warped Tour in the US. During their Warped Tour run, a new single would be released titled Motion Sickness, which would turn out to be the opening track off the new album, along with a music video to go with it. After Warped Tour was over, the band released their 3rd studio album, The Peace and the Panic, on August 18th. The album was produced and co-written by Mike Green, who had previously helped produce albums for bands such as All Time Low, Mayday Parade, and Pierce the Veil. The album would be received very well critically, peaking at number 4 on the US Billboard Hot 200 and number 1 on both the UK Independent and UK Rock and Metal album charts. One of the singles from the album, In Bloom, would turn out to be one of their most popular and well-written songs to date, and even received the Kerrang Award for Best Song. To celebrate the album's release, they will play a few in-store acoustic shows before heading back on tour for the Reading and Leeds Festival in the UK. In October, they would start an international headline tour to promote the new album with support from Real Friends. 2018 would continue this tour with dates in the US and Australia. While in Australia, they would play the Download Festival and open for massive crowds on Good Charlotte's tour. After Australia, they would move their tour to Brazil and play a series of shows before flying back to the UK to play a variety of shows and festivals across Germany, Italy, and the Netherlands. Plans were made to begin the second part of their world tour, but sadly, bassist Phil Thorpe Evans would not see out the rest of this tour. He decided to leave the band to pursue a solo career as a producer under the tag Problem Child. He would go on to make a remix of All Time Low's smash hit Monsters, and the band has expressed that they have stayed on good terms with him. The untimely loss of their bassist did not stop the band, however, as they found themselves back in the US and then Australia to finish off their tour run for The Peace and the Panic. Starting off the new year, Neck Deep played a series of shows across Europe, including a spot on the Slam Dunk roster once again. In June, they released a new single titled She's a God to promote their upcoming tour with Blink-182 and Lil Wayne. Joshua Holling, their former photographer, would be brought on to play bass for the song, the upcoming tour, and the entirety of their next album. They spent the summer on tour with Blink, and upon returning from the tour, they would begin work on their new album. 2020 began with the announcement that Ben's brother and longtime producer for the band, Seb, would be stepping in as the new permanent bassist for the band, along with the official announcement of the band's 4th studio album, All Distortions Are Intentional. In February, the first single from the album, titled Low Life, was released. However, in March, the start of a certain global pandemic that I cannot name on YouTube ended any touring plans that Neck Deep had for the remainder of the year. Across the following months leading up to the album, more singles would be released, such as When You Know in April and Fall in June. The album was released on July 24th with production from Matt Squire, who had previously worked with bands such as Panic at the Disco and All Time Low. The album received fairly positive reviews, although less so than their 2 previous works, and peaked at number 64 on the Billboard Hot 200. The release was supposed to be accompanied by another international tour, but due to the looming pandemic, it was postponed until 2021. At the time of recording this video, the US leg of their tour has just ended, and they're set to play in Europe next year. Throughout the years, Neck Deep has certainly had their fair share of challenges. The loss of their lead guitarist to one of the most critical points in their career, and a global pandemic ending tour plans for their 4th album. Even with these adversities though, however, Neck Deep has proven they are resilient and can bounce back and continue to make great records. Life's Not Out to Get You continues to hold up today, and is regarded by many to be the best in their discography, as well as one of the best modern pop punk albums. What is your favorite Neck Deep song or album? Let me know in the comment section down below, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know who you want to see cover next on the channel. This has been Band Prevail, and I'll see you guys next time.